Hey, party people! Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I am your host as always, Jeff Stormer, and this week on the show, I am joined by Morgan for a game of Something Happened and the Lights Went Out. Something Happened and the Lights Went Out is a two-player LARP by Steph Beck-Fay about a conversation between friends separated by a long distance on the night that the lights and all electricity in the world turns off forever. It is about the final conversation between good friends before a long and frightening period of uncertainty. It is a heavy, emotional, and powerful game. We got pretty deep and pretty real in it, which is, I guess, an emotional content warning for the episode, but also a really strong endorsement of the episode because it is a game that is powerful and beautifully written and evokes really rich and strong emotions, and it was a really wonderful and vulnerable recording that I really loved playing in, and I think you'll really love listening to. You can find more about Something Happened and the Lights Went Out in the show notes. Morgan, you might know, is one of the hosts of the Powered by the Players podcast. That is a podcast, an actual play, which features mini campaigns of various PBTA, Powered by the Apocalypse role-playing games with a rotating cast of diverse players. That is on the Roll to Play network, friends of ours, friends of the show. It is a wonderful show if you like Party of One and you like it because you get to hear a ton of different games, and you also like Powered by the Apocalypse games. I can't possibly recommend PBT Players enough. I think it is a wonderful podcast that really does the best possible showcasing of a huge range of PBTA games. It gives you an idea of the scope of them in the world. Is also, you get to just hear some great stories using games that are really built around great narrative mechanics. I'm a really big fan. I think you'll really love it. You can find more information at rolltoplaynetwork.com/poweredbytheplayers. You can also find a link to that in the show notes. Now, before we dive in, this episode is brought to you by Boldly Go, the optimistic sci-fi role-playing game currently on Kickstarter. Boldly Go is a game about a team of highly trained officers of Space Fleet in command of a starship that they customize and design. On behalf of the Stellar Alliance, they traverse the galaxy, setting courses for distant systems, wandering alien planets, searching for new species and cultures, and traveling bravely to locations which few have ever visited before. Now, that pitch maybe sounds a little familiar, and I say that not to dismiss the game, but to say if you love optimistic sci-fi stories like Star Trek, this game is exactly that, and I think that is a genre that I dearly, dearly love. It is a genre that, I kind of struggle to feature on the show, because sometimes, that is something that is very communal as a genre, but it is honestly one of my, I adore Star Trek. I love optimistic sci-fi in general. I think that is pretty clear by my whole deal. I love games that really let you spontaneously create storylines and ships and give you those tools to really create your own experience. And if you love any of those things, and I'm pretty sure you might, you should check out Boldly Go. It is on Kickstarter. You can find a link in the show notes. Go back the game, make it a reality, because I would love to see it fund and become a thing. Check that out, that link in the show notes. And with all that said, let's throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week, I am so excited to be sitting down with Morgan. Morgan, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I am super excited to be here.
I'm so excited. This is going to be a great game. This is going to be a great experience. I am extremely, extremely hyped. So, real quick, before we dive into our very kind of emotionally intense game, why don't you take a moment and let the lovely listeners at home know about all the good stuff you've got going on that you might want them to know about.
Okay, well, hi. My name's Morgan. I go by they, them, and she, her interchangeably. I do a lot of podcast work, running games, cat herding, playing in streams and other podcasts, just the whole gambit of things. But really, if you want to find me and see what I do, you can find me on Powered by the Players, which is Powered by Apocalypse podcast that goes through one-shots and mini-campaigns of all your favorite PBTA games with a rotating diverse cast. And also, I stream with Utopia TV, where we play Kahania, which is a quest game, it's been quite delightful.
That sounds very good. I'm excited. I can I tell you how much I love PBTA games? Like
Me
really,
too.
truly, they're
Oh,
good. They're good.
That's
They're
why I
good.
started the podcast.
We're not playing one today, so I feel like that's a disclaimer. But they are very good.
Yes, they are. A good design. I appreciate.
So let's go ahead and get into the game this week. We are playing Something Happened and the Lights Are Out, a story game for 2 players by Steph Beck-Fay. This is an emotionally heavy game about the last conversation over the phone between 2 friends on the night that the electricity goes out forever. It is played in real time over 1 hour over a phone call with a friend who is far away. And it is going to be an emotionally heavy game. It is a game about being scared and vulnerable and like having a very serious conversation with a friend. So let's take a moment and talk through like safety stuff on mic before we get going, just to make sure that like we feel good about it, that everybody listening at home knows that we've had these important conversations, because I think it's going to make our experience a little bit better.
Oh, definitely. Safety is like one of my major things. It's as one of my storytellers of the past really ingrained in me, safety first and then fun second.
Yep, that sounds right.
Yeah, because
you can't have fun without the safety.
Exactly, and yeah, so I'm a huge proponent of like safety tools and like just laying out everything on the table so we can all understand where we're coming from.
So we're going to be using verbal like X, N's, and O's on the podcast. We've traditionally used like a cut and break, but I'm moving towards X, N, O because I think it has a little bit more. It has that third option, which I like.
Is in mean like, is it like a fail if it's in, or if it?
So X is a hard stop. X is if we need to pump the brakes immediately and like either stop for any reason, be it if we're feeling unsafe or we just need like a minute to get some water or something. Okay. N is if things are getting heavy in a direction that are making us move towards a certain direction that like it's getting a little bit heavy and we want to kind of like shift into something else.
Okay, so it's like a redirect.
Yeah, it's like a redirect. It is a little bit of a yellow light of like, hey, we're getting into territory that like emotionally I might want to move a little bit away from. Let's kind of shift. We can always just say like, hey, let's end this, and then we'll kind of move into a different direction. And then O is like if we check in with each other, it's like, hey, you're doing okay. Like an O is I'm here, I'm ready. The green light,
way to go.
Gas to the gas pedal to the floor, and let's really dig into this emotional experience.
Yes. Okay, cool. I just didn't know what N was, but thank you.
Yep, no problem. In terms of content that in terms of lines and veils, lines being things that are hard off limits, veils being things that are kind of not off limits but like handled at kind of arm's length. The things that are always like off limits for me are nothing happens to kids, nothing happens to animals, and a veil on like eye-related injuries. And relevant, I think, to this game is like a veil, somewhere between a veil and a line on, I guess I would describe it as like authoritarian violence, because it makes me like it's not great. I don't love it.
And we're kind of living in that dystopia right now, anyway. So
exactly. It's not something that I want to explore because I'm living through it day to day.
Agreed. Hard agree.
So, is there anything that is on your lines and veils that you want to go over, or do you? Or
typically, I try to stay away from sexual assault.
Yeah, sure. That is also on mine.
Okay. I typically also try to stay away from the isms, racism, ableism, sexism, transphobia, etc., homophobia. Yep. Those are my main ones. Eye injuries actually are kind of like a new one for me. That I was like, oh, I need to put a line for this. Okay, I will, because I forgot about it. Because I feel you with that.
Yep, it is a thing. It is a thing that like it's for me. It's like I don't mind it at a distance. Like it is a veil for me because I don't mind it at a distance. I always use the analogy is the primetime TV rule where somebody like a gunshot happens, somebody falls down and they clutch their eye, and then the next time you see them, they're wearing an eye patch. That's all I need. I don't need any more detail than that.
Yeah, it's just it's like a hand wave, like, oh, it happened.
It happened. It can happen. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, exactly. I guess another one for me, but it probably won't come up in this game, but who knows? Sometimes things come up in games that I don't know about.
Right.
And yeah, is snakes? I don't do snakes at all. Like
Fair, totally fair.
ugh.
Fair, totally
Yeah.
valid. Yeah, I'm not sure that it's going to come up, but it's good to have it on the table just in case.
Yeah, and that's about it that I
Cool.
can think of right now.
Cool. Any other questions? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling comfortable? Because they're going to get a little bit heavy. I want to make sure you're feeling comfortable before we put that pedal to the metal.
I am feeling comfortable.
So with that, with our safety conversation out of the way, let's dive into the game itself. I'm just going to read straight from the book, give us the premise, and then we'll start the timer and get going. This is a game to be played in the dark and over the phone. Something happened and the lights are out. The powers that be have texted to inform you that the electricity where you are is gone, it is not coming back, and cell service will go with it in roughly an hour. A friend who lives far away is calling. They have meant a lot to you, and it will be a long time before you talk to them again. Set a timer for 1 hour. When that hour is over, you will hang up the call and the call will be over, and so you'll want to say what you need to say, and you'll want to say it soon. So, we are going to talk on the phone. We are going to talk through what has happened. What has happened to each of us might be different. There might be similar elements. There might be different elements. We will each know different things in different parts of it all, and we will talk through it. I have a shared timer set for 1 hour. So whenever you are ready, I will hit that button and our phones will ring and we will start our conversation. Are you all ready to go and settled in?
I am.
Okay, then we will start our timers in 3, 2, 1, start. Phone rings. You pick it up?
Yeah. Hello?
Hey, it's been a while.
Oh, hey. How are you?
Not great. Gonna be honest, not great.
Oh no, why?
I don't know if you saw the news. They're shutting off power everywhere.
What? It hasn't happened here yet. Let me go see and
check your messages. They like sent out a mass text.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know who they is, but like I got a mass text that said that like the power went out, and I got a text and it said like it's gone, it's not coming back, and it said like cell service was going to end in an hour.
Oh yeah, I did get that. Oh yeah, there's that message. Oh,
and it's from like an unknown number.
Yeah, that's.
But the lights are out, so I'm inclined to believe it.
Yeah. There goes our lights.
Yeah. I figured that was going to happen.
Oh, geez. Oh.
So it feels like it's serious, right? Like, I talked to everybody I talked to. I screamed across the street, as you do in the city when there's a power outage, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's lights went out, and everybody got the same text message from the same unknown number, and it's verbatim.
Yeah, it sounds like that my neighbors are starting to talk to each other right now outside. Because, it just happened here, but that's... Oh, I don't... Do you know why? Do you understand, like, is there... You said there wasn't a reason, and I didn't see a reason, but do you have any ideas why?
I have not even the slightest clue. I mean... I know there were like you know me. Look. I'm going to ask you a question up front.
Okay.
We are friends.
Uh-huh.
You know me better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Am I allowed to go conspiracy theorist in this moment? This feels justified. I know you've told me that I can't before, but this feels justified.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to set a timer if you'd like? Like I can go a minute, but like, or I can just blurt it out. But I have my theories.
Let's do it.
All right, because there were lights in the sky like 3 days ago, and I know that like Twitter was like, oh, it's UFO, but like it feels pretty suspiciously timed that there were lights in the sky, and then suddenly every human being on Earth gets the same text message, and all the lights go out. those feel connected. And that's not just me being way too into alien stuff. I know that I'm too into alien stuff. I get that.
Yeah, and I actually remember seeing them too because they were in my area as well.
See, and that's what I'm getting at here. I'm feeling like those are connected, and I feel like I say that a lot, and I know that a lot of times you have verbally talked sense and slapped some sense into me, and I appreciate that. That is why you are my friend.
Yeah, I just I mean, I understand that aliens could exist, but just text messages and lights over the skies in all over the world because we're not even in we're not in the same time zones right now.
That's the thing. I don't what else could explain the same power outage, the same text message? I don't know how else to explain this.
Okay, so if
I'm accepting the if because I am your friend.
If it was aliens,
right? Which it was. I'm remaining 100% confident.
I know you are, but I'm saying if.
Thank you. I understand. I'm not gonna ask you.
And I'm not denying yours either, but I'm also saying hypothetically.
Thank you for letting me make jokes because this is terrifying.
It is, and I think jokes are the only way for us to cope with it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, dark comedy and all that. So where was I going with this? Oh, if it's aliens,
sure.
Why would they do this?
Well,
world domination?
I have theories.
Yeah.
I always have theories. It's part of my charm. There's more of those jokes. Remember that? Do you remember the Twilight Zone, the Monsters Over Maple Street?
Monsters on Maple Street. That one.
The whole thing was that they were turning off lights to test people. This could be one of those situations. It could be an alien invasion situation. It is largely unclear, and there are a lot of angles. And I'm sure that were I on Twitter right now, and I really wish I was, and I can't believe that I'm saying that out loud because Twitter is a hell site.
It is. It's a dumpster fire.
And so, that I am thinking right now, I wish I had Twitter in front of me, is the weirdest feeling that I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, because we can't even look it up. We can't, actually talk to people, online. Oh, yeah. This is... They're making us go old school, but who knows how long this is going to last,
They said it would be... they said that the cell satellites would be gone within the hour. And
that's right. That's right.
So I guess we've got the time that we've got.
Yeah, we do. Jeez, I'm trying to think of... what do we do? Do we just sit here and wait for them to pick us off, or take us up to their mothership? Look at me talking like it's.
Do you want to know the scariest thing that has ever been said?
What?
You sound like me right now. Right?
I know, but you put this in my mind. I can't.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put it in. I don't think I put it. I'm pretty sure the lights in the sky put it in your mind, but that is neither here nor there.
It's it's common, at least in the rural parts of this area, that people see lights in the skies. But they always brush it off as military testing or
weather balloons. Swamp gases is the other big one.
Mass hallucinogenics in the water.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite because the scope of that one is incredible. That's my absolute favorite.
It's really you're gonna go to mass hallucinations for in the water of all things.
That's your reasonable explanation. That is your way of brushing off the conspiracy theory. It's incredible. That's
Everybody
my
just
favorite.
has LSD in the water, man. They're just all going for a trip.
Just LSD, and hey, listen, nothing to be alarmed about. There's just LSD in the water, right?
No big deal.
Is it weird that we're like joking right now?
I think we're trying to just cope and understand what's going on.
Okay, I'm cool with that. I don't know. It feels like, I don't know. It feels weird. I feel like my brain is racing, and I'm pretty sure you can hear that. But like, I keep thinking out like we should be talking about things that are serious, but like at the same time, like it's just nice. We haven't spoken in a while, and like.
Haven't.
Like, and that sucks,
I'm sorry about that. I've just been, nose to the grindstone with my job, especially getting this promotion. And
believe me, you and me both, like, for the first time really in my life, I've been at a job that I like.
Yay.
And so, like, it just kind of, it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. And, like, I kind of just realized that, like, I'd been kind of letting things fall by the wayside, and like that's shitty of me, and that's shitty of both of us. I'm gonna say it because we're friends, and I think we both feel that way. But like, we shouldn't. Jesus, I almost said we shouldn't do that going forward.
What? Let things go to the wayside?
No, like we shouldn't let a contact between us as friends fall by the wayside, as if that is going to continue to be as easy as a phone call or a Twitter DM tomorrow.
Well, like, I mean, there's other ways of communication, right? We can write letters, right?
We could write letters. Yeah, we could, like...
I mean, the postal service hasn't stopped yet, has it?
I mean, I hope not. Okay. I don't...
Unless they're digitized by, like, organization. Oh, no. What if they're gonna slow down the postal service and then turn... Oh...
I mean, it was already pretty bad.
They try so hard.
They
go through snow and hurricanes.
They're really an important service, and I really respect the hell out of the post office, and we should all be supporting them.
Should I get stamps? Wait, will my credit card work? Does my debit card work?
I don't know what's going to work, and that's what's like. I'm like legitimately like. I gotta ask you. I gotta like now. I'm thinking about it, and now I gotta like ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you good? Like you're out in like the country.
I mean, I'm in the suburbs.
So like, is there like, if like, I'm gonna be me for a minute and be catastrophizing if I may.
And I love you for this, so continue.
Thank you. If they don't come back on tomorrow, or the next day, or a year from now, like, are you gonna be okay? Like, I mean, like, I am. Like, there's like, I mean, there's a corner store on the corner that like I could like get supplies at. Like, I'm good friends. I'm good friends with Rick. He owns the place. Like, I'm good. Like, I got people that like can hook me up with like food.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be good? Like, I don't know. I don't know how the suburbs work.
I mean, like, so I'm outside the city, so it's not too hard to get to the city. But also, if I technically, quote unquote, don't have money because electricity doesn't work and my debit card doesn't work anywhere. And
literally today I was thinking like, man, it's pretty great to not have cash.
I know. That's how I always feel. I'm like, oh, this is so cool to like just be able to. I mean, even now, like I hardly pull out my card unless I'm actually going to a store and purchasing like from the get-go, and I'm not like ordering ahead or something.
That's like it's so like it's weird, right? Like, and now I'm realizing, and honestly, like, like, is money gonna work tomorrow?
Yeah, no,
like
I'm just, and yeah,
do we barter now? Is that where we're at?
Do I have any skills to barter?
I mean, I think I'm pretty funny. I don't know what that's gonna get me.
I mean, comedians have gotten by, so
that's maybe. Fair point. That's a fair point. The world needs a clown. I can work with that.
Yeah. I can try crocheting again. Oh,
That feels like a skill, right? That feels
I mean,
like a craft.
I usually get frustrated or like I skip a row and then it just goes to hell. Um. Oh,
I
jeez.
mean, I legitimately have comedy. That's pretty much my only. I'm running through the list of skills that I legitimately have,
Mm-hmm.
and like in a not digital world, I don't think that like I really don't feel like task management is like gonna be like really key at this moment. I mean,
Yeah.
because like I could whip up an Asana task like nobody's business, but like I don't know quite if I'm gonna be able to translate that to not having Asana.
Yeah, and what I do with work is I actually, I'm outside the state capital, so like I work for the state, and a lot of my work is through a computer, and we get to use internet to connect to our servers in order to like do our jobs, and I don't, I can't even work now.
So like, sorry, I didn't mean to like drag us down.
No,
It's gonna be
it's fine.
like it's good. I guess it's good to like think about that, but like it's also not fun to think about it, and like it's probably not helpful for us in this moment to be like worst casing it, because like the thing about like worst case is it rarely happens.
Mm-hmm.
It generally is never as good as a best case and never as bad as a worst case, but like
I
but like you've got neighbors though.
Yeah, I have neighbors, and I have a friend who who's a little more outside of town than I am, and she raises chickens. So if need be, I can get some eggs from her, maybe
And like
for
really
food.
really like worst comes to worst, like that means that like you've got a farm like you could work at, I think.
I said chickens, not a
Yeah.
whole farm.
Okay. I'm just
Also, it's Texas in the summer, so it's in the mid hundreds right now or early
also
hundreds.
fair.
Yeah.
Also fair. All fair. Look, I am look, I you got to understand like from the viewpoint of Philadelphia, everything out there is I there are rules outside of this city that I don't understand, in the same way that if somebody were to come into this city, there are rules in place that they are not going to piece together.
I offer you to come visit multiple times,
You
but
did. You did. And you know what? Like I will say in this moment feels a little bit like I probably should have taken you up on that.
well, I if you I mean,
I
this
mean,
is this is me being silly and sentimental, but if you do not want to handle this by yourself, I could, if my job doesn't do a thing, I could come back to Philadelphia, or you can come down to Texas, or
that you know what? Like honestly, I mean, a lot of what I liked about the city, it's hard to break it down because like there's what I love about the city and there's what I love about Philadelphia, and they're two very different things. But a lot of what I loved about living in the city, like within quotations, was like technical. So like honestly, if electricity's not an option, I reasonably feel like I could live somewhere that's not the city. I would miss Philadelphia as a concept, but like these are extraordinary times.
yeah. Also, who knows how Philadelphia's going to turn out?
Exactly. Honestly, like I mean, we were we've we you know we burned couches on the best of times. I was here for the Super Bowl. I watched how we handled the Super Bowl.
I remember you sending me that text.
It was a great fucking honestly the best night. Honestly, like one of the best nights of my life, like walking around this just clusterfuck of a city and just like so like but like we are an emotional people is what I'm getting at. And so I don't know. I don't know. I I could see it working out really nicely. I think that like if you wanted to come here, I think that would also work because like It's one of the things that when I say I separate the city and Philadelphia, like this, like Philadelphia, like is nicer than it has a reputation for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are exactly as rude as people like to say that people from Philadelphia are. Like, that is not untrue.
That is not untrue, if I remember
But
correctly.
it is very true, but it is also like a community, like a city of people that will look out for each other. And
Yeah.
like there is a real camaraderie that, like, in a moment like this, again, which the lights might turn on in an hour. We don't know. Like, I mean, like, honestly, they probably won't, but like, they might. Being in a place where I feel a tangible sense of like community feels
Mhm.
like it could be worse.
Yeah, that's good. And you know, Southern hospitality is a real thing down here, and it's great. But also, I moved here, when was it, like a couple years ago, if that?
Something like that.
Yeah, and I have friends. I have people that I hang out with on occasion, but I guess it's just not the same.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And like, no, I know what you mean. And the it's hard. It's hard thinking about like how much I took for granted having everyone that I love be instantly accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Gosh.
like,
Yeah.
I'm realizing now that we're talking that, like, you're there, I'm here, but like my parents are in a whole third direction.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was great because I could just call them, I could text them, I could Skype them, I could Facebook them, like, they were there. But now the prospect of like seeing my parents has gone from a 2-hour flight to a possibility to like a a sojourn is the
Yeah.
word I would use. Like, it is an undertaking.
Yeah, no, I feel you. My parents are divorced. They were divorced when I got in college. So my dad's down in Florida and my mom's up in Portland, like two opposite sides of the U.S.
Yeah,
So,
like, how do you, like, that's like,
and my younger siblings, like another part of Texas, and then I have another half brother that's in California somewhere. So,
like how do you, like, I guess that's what, like really thinking it through, like, that's the part that scares me, is like, I've got family in Tennessee, Arizona, Georgia, Canada. Well, no, he's moved into Tennessee at this point, but like,
why would he move from Canada to Tennessee?
it's a long story.
Okay.
It's a whole story. But like, I got family in Tennessee, Arizona, Georgia, Ohio, Michigan. Like, it used to be, yesterday it was kind of a cool thing because the family was scattered across the whole country. But like, now it's like we're not in one place. Like, we are ununitable.
Yeah.
And like, that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm. And knowing my mom, she would want me to come up there to stay with her, but at the same time, that doesn't give, like, as much as I could, but also I'm trying to live my life here, and
Right. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I feel like it sounds selfish for me to say it, but I also recognize that you just said it, and it didn't sound selfish when you said it, so it shouldn't sound
Thank
selfish
you.
when I say it. I liked my life here.
I did. Oh God, I love my life here.
Like I have it really nice here, and I don't want to leave that.
I was able to buy a home.
That's like that's like such a fucking dream, and like it's yours now, and like
Yeah, it's gonna be probably come tomorrow midday. It's gonna be a freaking oven, but it's my oven.
but it's your oven, and like I don't know, it sucks to feel like I don't know it. I guess that's really what makes me angry about it. It's like it feels like this like I feels like it was starting to work out, and then the
Yeah.
freaking lights turned off.
No, I get that. Like, I was finally getting that promotion. I just bought the house. What was it, like 3 months ago? So, and like, I'm still like unpacking.
Right.
You know me, I'm a slow unpacker. Nobody understands.
I know.
But yeah, I was just starting to get settled and you know put some roots in, and
And now
now that you brought the parent things, now I'm just thinking about them
like
and just worried about them because my dad doesn't really talk to me that much, but when we do, it's really nice.
And I don't know. I have to believe that they'll be okay, right? Like,
Yeah.
in the same way that we're gonna be okay, because I think we're gonna be okay. If I keep saying it, I'll believe it. I think that everyone's gonna be okay. You know, because like thinking about my parents, my dear sweet parents, like they're wilderness people now. They weren't a couple years ago. They lived in Jersey, and but they moved to Tennessee, and by golly, they took to living in the woods.
Oh,
and
they're living
like
in the country?
they are so happy living out, and they've got their campsite, they are the happiest they've ever been. And so like as much as it like upsets me to think that like I might not see them
Mm-hmm.
soon, I might not see them soon. It's nice to know that they're at least like in a place that they're happy and that they are like having the time of their life, and B, that they are in our current situation, because I don't there are other words I could use to describe this whole lights out situation, but I'm sticking with situation because it feels controllable.
Yeah.
It feels like they're going to be okay.
Yeah. I hope so. Can I tell you something?
Yeah, please.
I I was really getting into my career around the holidays last year, and I actually didn't go visit my mom like I usually do. Now I'm really feeling guilty about it.
You can't feel guilt. Like you made the choice. Like that is not something that you should feel. That is. Here's what I will say. That is not something that you should feel guilty about, even in not a quote unquote situation.
But I don't know when I'll be able to get up there now, and like it's.
I know. I feel the same way.
And how?
But
I don't even know how to. I just follow a compass now and just go northwest? Like, I don't have Google Maps. How did they do this back in the day?
I'm gonna sound like this is gonna sound sarcastic, and I promise it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a map. Like we don't have Google Maps, but they have maps. Now, if you're gonna ask me where one gets a map in 2020, I will not be able to tell you. That is a scenario that like I have not thought through, and I'm not 100% certain about.
Maybe a gas station.
I assume.
I guess.
That sounds reasonable.
But you know what this reminds me of? Did you drive in high school at all, or?
You know, it's actually really funny. You probably wouldn't know this because like we didn't meet until after, but like
Yeah.
I didn't drive until I moved to the city.
Oh, okay.
Like I didn't drive until adulthood.
Okay.
My first so this is a story that you will appreciate, and I hope that this.
I have not heard this before.
I don't know. I feel like I tell this story often.
I think you told me when I was drunk once, but maybe
That's possible.
Yeah.
So the true story of how I learned to drive was I didn't know how to drive until I got the job that landed me in Philadelphia. And I actually had to push back my start date at that job a week because I failed my driving test.
Oh no!
And had to retake it. But because I had taken it in Ohio, I couldn't transfer the permit to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So I had to push back my job start date, fly out to Ohio, borrow a friend's car, take my driver's test. Thankfully, I passed. And then fly back and start work the next day.
Oh, jeez.
It was legitimately, my job was on the line driving test.
Oh, no.
And so legitimately, and I will always remember this. And, you know, given what is happening now, this is a silly thing to say that I will always remember, because who's to say what I have capacity to remember doesn't change tomorrow. I will always remember the driving instructor told me, I was so excited, and the driving instructor was like, yeah, they're always excited. And I was like, no, you don't understand. So anyway, that is my long-winded answer to say no, I did not drive in high school.
Okay, so I drove in high school, and back in the day, we had this thing called, well, first off, our phones weren't like they are now.
Sure, right.
They were like little rinky-dinky flip phones, or like Nokia bricks. Or
I remember the flip phones. I remember did you have a Raspberry? Was that they were called, a Raspberry?
I think they're Blackberries.
There's Blackberry, but then there was what's the phone that slid?
Razors?
Razor, that's the one. They were all named after...
Yeah, Razors, and then there was like a kick flip one where like it sort of like kicked up when you had like the full keyboard. I don't remember.
That's the one.
Yeah. No, I either had the ones that slid. Maybe I did have a Razor. I think the ones that just slid up and down were Razors. And then I had a flip phone once. Anyhow. So they didn't have Google Maps because I don't think Google existed yet.
I don't think Google Maps existed at that point. So, I remember printing out MapQuest.
MapQuest, yes.
Which still
can't use.
Is more than we have.
Yeah. But I remember I would take the MapQuest, because sometimes I wouldn't print it out. I would just make a note on a sticky note and stick the sticky note to my steering wheel, so I didn't lose it. And I had the instructions right there.
So, I guess, if you're looking for a consolation, we've driven without Google Maps before. I have to assume cars work. They're not strictly electric. Yeah. Actually, they are, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. You're right. Because I know there's technology stuff. I
don't know how cars work, and I regret that.
Well, I know there's some sort of oh gosh, what is it called? The motherboard. You get radio in it, so radio is electricity, right?
You have to have. I guess there's electricity in it, so I don't know if they'd work, but I guess what I'd say is we've traveled without Google Maps before. We have. You and I are of an age where we at least partially did the rely on maps thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that's at least a comfort when we go see our parents, because I'm gonna go see them. I'm gonna go see them.
Yeah. I'm just trying to decide who I want to see first, because my parents live on different sides of the...
Right. That's How do you make that choice?
Well, it's summer now, so I can go to Portland and be somewhat not hot.
That actually, you know what? And then you go down south to Florida when it's a little cooler.
Yeah, I'll be a snowbird. I'll finally be a snowbird.
The other really nice thing?
Yeah.
And I have to assume this will still apply. The crowd volume at Disney World, way down in the winter.
But question, will Disney World be functioning?
I have, like...
Do you think the mouse has, like, their own source of technology?
I'm going to catastrophize for just a moment.
Okay.
Assuming that we are in a full-blown apocalypse situation.
Okay.
I have to assume Disney has infrastructure in place.
Oh, gosh.
They are a bad organization, and I don't like them. But I have to assume in this situation, like, why be an evil corporation if you do not have infrastructure in place for this exact scenario?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think, like, is there like underground, like, do they use like water flow for like electricity? Like deep down underneath Epcot, there's actually
I know there are like underground tunnels already for like mascots or like the cast members to run through, but I have to assume that they've probably also got underground power supplies like that. It feels like that would be a thing that Disney.
But how underground can you go in Florida?
That's a good point. That's a fair point.
Most of it's underwater as it is, or will be.
Look, I'm just all right. You know what? Then don't go to Disney. No.
It's I'll drive past Disney.
I am forbidding you. I am forbidding you.
Look,
as my
I'm
friend. I am. It's good to laugh.
Yeah, I'm just amused at thinking into the future just a bit. If this is still happening, then just I don't know. I'm just picturing a hypothetical like gangs taking over Disney sort of situation.
That would be dope, and like it's probably worth the trip to Florida to like see that. And if nothing else, like
oh my
the
gosh.
idea of like an empty
oh my gosh
Disney is so like weird, and like I feel like I would want to see that.
Would the gang be called Mickey Mouse Club?
Yep. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. Well, they would. There'd probably be multiple gangs characteristically built around like different regions. Like you'd have your Adventureland gang, you'd have your Mickey Mouse Club. You'd probably have a Pirates of the Caribbean, and they would just call themselves the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Probably. Yeah.
Yes, I've put thought into this. Who are you to judge me?
I'm not judging you. just that's what just came to my brain. I was like Mickey Mouse Club. Boom, done.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Like even in this time,
yeah,
that is still where your brain goes. Like that made that like I'm happy that. And now I'm gonna get emotional because we have to. We don't have that long left. I'm happy that you haven't changed on this call. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's possible that like this happens and like somebody changes, and I'm happy that it didn't happen to you.
I mean, you're talking me right into it. Give me a couple days. No,
that's fair. That's fair. So no, you're right. You know, in a week, when I've hitchhiked to Texas, I'm gonna arrive at this house that you're gonna have converted into an entire like military fortress.
I was just thinking, what's that Mad Max character, Furiosa?
Furiosa, you're gonna go full
shave
Furiosa?
My whole head and like lose a limb.
Honestly, why not?
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
I mean, it'd be a lot cooler, honestly, but having a bald head in the sun would not be good. Anywho, gosh, I miss you.
I miss you too. I miss hanging out.
I do too.
I'm sad that like we don't get to do game nights anymore because like they're like I don't know. can I ask you like a question that like I know the answer to, and
Yeah.
like it's not the right time to ask it, but like I guess we only have another 20 minutes to ask it, so
Yeah.
you're happy in Texas, right? Or you were, right?
Yeah, I mean, had a career going. I had some friends here.
Okay.
I say like I had. I mean, I still have friends here, but
Right. Like, yeah, let's look, things are bad. Let's not acknowledge that things are bad, but
Yeah.
like I still see people outside.
yeah, like my neighbors are currently like trying to figure out a game plan. Like I can hear them down the block.
Oh, that's good. See, like I guess that's another thing, like another consolation is like it's nice that like it's nice in situations like this to think that like at least the people around us are interested in working together.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It makes it a little easier.
I mean, didn't our ancestors mainly just focus around communities, be it
Yeah, like
nomadic or
they
agricultural? Yeah.
they got through. They got through, and we can probably get through it.
Yeah, but so much unlearning.
Yeah,
That's for
right?
sure. But you
But
were
anyway, I'm
asking me
sorry.
like you were asking me about me being happy.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I didn't answer that exactly. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, good.
I love the nature down here. You know me. I love hiking and
Right.
being out and about. Yeah, I'm pretty happy down here.
I'm
Are
glad.
you
I'm
are you
really.
happy up there?
I am the. I mean, I guess I was. I guess was is the right answer, but I am. I'm sticking with am. I'm sticking with am, but like
Mhm.
I am. I'm as happy as I've ever been. Honestly, like everything considered, I'm really, really happy. You know, I like who I am now. I don't have regrets, and I feel like if I got to go into tomorrow facing whatever tomorrow's going to look like, at least I can go into it knowing that like the me that was, right? Because I feel like this is one of those the me that was and the me that will be situations.
Mhm.
I feel like the me that was pretty well kicked fucking ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
You
Like I
did
kicked
so
ass.
much. Yeah, you moved to Philadelphia. Well, you know, I met you in Philly, duh. But like you moved to Philadelphia. You learned how to drive before you got your car. Now that I know soberly, like now that sober me knows this.
Isn't it a fun fact to know? Like I'm glad
Yeah.
that like briefly before you finish your point, like morbid as it sounds, I'm glad I got to really like share that fact with you before like everything shut down.
Yeah, and I thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Of course.
Where was I going? Oh, you're finally getting your life in order. You're finally feeling good, and like you know what, you kicked ass.
Yeah, and you know
You
what?
fought
Like,
so hard to get where you are.
and you know what? Like, I'm gonna kick ass tomorrow.
Yeah,
And you're gonna kick ass tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, really, truly, like, your house is still gonna be your house tomorrow. Like you
Mhm.
said, it's gonna be an oven, but like, that is still your space. Those boxes that you still have are still gonna be unpacked tomorrow. Like,
Look, maybe I'll get to them tonight. We'll see.
that's what else are we gonna do, right?
Yeah, that's true. You know what I could do actually? I guess eat the ice cream that's in the freezer.
Oh fuck, we should probably eat the. That's fuck right. Oh, actually, you know what?
Are you getting
I'm
yours
gonna
right
say
now?
it. I'm gonna say it. Thank you, aliens, because that ice cream's really good, and now I have no excuse not to eat the whole thing.
Exactly. So you know, might
This
as
is all
well.
working out for the best.
it's plus sides to the electricity going off.
Yeah.
You gotta look at the bright side somehow.
You got to look at the bright side. How am
Silver
I gonna,
linings and all that.
how am I gonna cook food?
Oh, I have a gas range.
All right, so I guess that's fine. I'm pretty sure my whole apartment was electric, which kind of puts me up a
Oh,
creek.
oh,
I'll figure something out. I mean, I can always eat
I
corner
mean, y'all
store food.
set couches on fire, so.
That's true. Like that's true. That's you know what? That is a good point. I'm pretty sure I could find a burning couch and just like roast some meat over it, like our ancestors did when
I
they
don't think
won
they did it
football
over
games.
couches.
I have to assume that had to start at some point in the past. And therefore they were our ancestors.
I mean, you're probably not wrong, but. Oh,
I'm happy that we got to talk.
me too. When was the last time we talked? Do you remember?
God, I don't even. What, like this?
What? Was it Halloween last year?
Oh, Jesus, I think it was Halloween last
Oh,
year.
God.
Because, like, we didn't even really talk around the holidays because, like, I know I sent you, like, I know I sent you a Christmas card, but, like, I didn't, like, reach out or call or anything, and sorry about that, by the way.
Me too, but yeah, I'm sorry about that. I think around the holidays, like I said before, it was just work was getting to be way too much, and I was working to get that promotion, and do you remember what we talked about then? I don't. What random BS were we talking about then?
Nonsense? I don't know.
I mean, it sounds about that, like, right for us.
Right? I mean, if I didn't know for sure, saying nonsense feels like it would be a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember. I feel like we must have been talking about, because you had gone to that convention, and we were supposed to both go, and then my work thing like happened. Like I had to like launch a website, and it was a huge disaster.
Yeah.
They're redoing that website, by the way. The website that I skipped a convention for, they're redoing it. I know, and like, oh wait, I guess they're not relaunching the website.
Oh, right. Oh, jeez. Yeah, and weren't you dating somebody at the time too? What? Or is that another time I'm thinking about?
I think you're thinking of another time. Wait, maybe you're not. Do you know I got married?
Oh, did you? Wait,
oh my god,
I invited?
Oh my god, I didn't invite you to the wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, no, it was like a family thing. Okay, yeah. Okay. Sorry. It's been a long year. We were supposed to have like a wedding party. It has been a long year.
Yeah.
And now this has happened.
How's your spouse holding up to this?
She's actually out right now.
Oh, you haven't even talked to her, have you?
I have not talked to her.
Oh, jeez.
She was like doing a grocery run. And she was supposed to be back. I think I heard her come in. Yeah, she's on the phone. Okay, we're good. Okay. I'll check in with her in a minute.
Okay.
I think she's having the conversation that we're all having.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, maybe the last time I knew y'all were dating and now you're married. That could be it.
So, okay. So I would like to formally explain myself.
Okay.
We were dating.
Uh-huh.
And now we're married.
Did I just say that?
That was a joke. I felt like it needed to be like, I don't know. We had like a very small, like family only thing because we couldn't like, with everything that happened, we couldn't organize like a big friend-filled thing.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, we're gonna save that. We're gonna wait until like it is safe and comfortable for everyone to be in the same place, and then now who the hell knows how that's gonna be?
Yeah.
So like, who's gonna say? But like, I want you to know, like, I feel bad that I didn't invite you to the small wedding, but like, you were going to be invited to the larger one.
No, that's fine. You said the small one was family anyway, so...
It was family, yeah, but your family, like, that's not, like...
Thank you. You're my family, too, and that's why... And now that I know you have a +1, so if y'all do make your way to Texas, there's a guest room big enough for both of y'all.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm gonna commit to that. Mind you, I haven't talked to her yet. We haven't formalized any plans yet.
That's fair.
And suffice to say, there will be very long plan-making conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm gonna commit to saying we're coming to visit.
Okay.
It feels right. Your family, and if I'm planning to make the trip to see family, I'm making the trip to see you.
Yeah. I just had a very sad thought now
I'm
that
listening.
we're talking about traveling again. How do gas pumps work? You know, because there used to actually be a pump, but now, like...
Oh, right. Yeah. My brain went in another direction.
What did you think? Because we had to pay for them, or...
Because all of my friends live in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of my friends from where I grew up, they ask that question often.
Oh, because they don't pump their own gas.
Because they don't pump their own gas.
That's
so
always been weird to me.
So my immediate response was, no, somebody doesn't know how to pump. And then, like, it hit me that, like, you don't mean that in a, like, how do you pump your gas? You mean that in a, like, fuck.
Like, do we like have to, like, oh, what is that called? Where you have to stick a hose into a thing and you
like a siphon. You have to like siphon it. Oh, jeez.
Beautiful.
Add that to the list of skills that I don't have. I guess that's my one and it's a weird regret to have, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like a regret that like I don't have more wilderness survival skills. But like I guess siphoning gas isn't even wilderness survival. That's like a whole other level of, I don't know. I guess I guess my regret is that I didn't, for being somebody that is gleefully into conspiracies, I didn't plan for this. And like that feels like I should have followed through more.
Yeah. You think when you're watching Survivor, you're like, I could do that, but now
I can do that, and it turns out I can't.
And now that we're actually yeah.
Sorry that I ate up the hour.
No, I wouldn't want to have anyone else eat up the hour than you.
I guess I appreciate that. I mean, I know that like
I also ate up your hour too, so
that's also fair. That is also fair. Wow, way to eat up my hour.
I know. How dare me? I'm so rude.
So rude.
I'm so selfish.
I guess I don't know. Like you know, like you're in this moment and you think like, I gotta call somebody, right? Like I gotta make contact. But like, honestly, can I say something?
Yeah.
In the last 8 minutes that we've got on this conversation,
mm-hmm.
Can I say something that sounds terrible? And I'm gonna say it. And I realized that I asked and then said I'm gonna say it. And I need to do less like, okay, if we only have like, I need to do less like interstitials because I'm clearly eating up time.
Say it.
I kind of didn't want to call my parents.
Oh yeah.
Like, does that sound awful? Like,
no, because I think I know the same thing. Because I don't know. Like, it's hard to describe, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. Like, I didn't want to like this conversation that I had with you was was what I needed. This conversation was with you was what I needed. And I know that I wouldn't have had this conversation with my parents.
Yeah, because they'll be just, trying to be protective of you and, like,
They'd
trying to get...
be all
Yeah.
about, like, what are you gonna do? Like, what's your plan? You know, they like it would have been a conversation with my parents, and like, I just really didn't need that.
Yeah. No, I get that. It definitely would be a lot more draining for me. But with you, it feels like a conversation that we're having right now is just not only are we goofing around, but we're also having this mutual heart to heart kinship sort of. I don't know. I'm finding words and I'm just tossing them together.
I think in the current situation, throwing together words is acceptable because, like, fuck, how do you describe this? Like, how do you describe this? And I think like that's why I wanted to talk to like somebody that I could just be like a complete rambling mess to, you know? Like I could talk to somebody that like didn't need me to be like put together cuz like I'm not together right now.
Yeah, I'm not either. And I think what you're trying to say and also what I'm trying to say, maybe, I don't know, is that our we understand each other
Yeah.
and what we need. And I think what we needed was just someone to be there in our rambly
Yeah.
mess.
And I'm glad it was you.
And I was glad it was you too.
I'm glad we got one more long rambly conversation.
Yeah.
Like we used to have in the car, like when we would go like drive. I'm glad that we had another weird rambling conversation. I'm glad that I guess I'd say I'm glad that like we had one more conversation that when we stepped out of the car we would go like, how did we get here? How did we get to this point in the conversation? And I'm glad that we had that one more time.
I did too.
But
I hate how you're calling it. Sorry.
No, you're right. Well, no,
because you're making it sound like it's.
It's never. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's not fair. It's not accurate, and it's not fair.
I mean,
I guess I mean like, I'm glad that we had one. Because like, I guess I mean I'm glad we had another, and I'm glad that like in this moment, like, we were able to give each other what we needed.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just.
No.
We've got like less than 5 minutes left, and it's now just like actually hitting me. I guess. Like, we were joking.
We just passed 4:20, and I know that you're like emotional right now, but I needed to know that. Right? I needed to know that.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of hitting me that like this is it.
Well, do you have an idea of what you're going to do yet? Like when we get off the phone?
Talk to Jen.
Yeah.
I guess like make a plan for tonight. Check in with the neighbors. Swing by the corner store. Probably grab a sandwich because it's cold and like I have to imagine that their like cold cuts are gonna go bad, and so they might also be just giving them away.
Grab some ice cream.
Oh fuck! I gotta get some ice cream, and then just like I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna sleep, so I guess just like hang out.
Yeah. Jeez. I mean, I'm happy I bought the stamps already, but guess I'm gonna be putting them to use.
Yep.
I think when we got the phone, I think I'm going to, I'm going to have ice cream for dinner.
You deserve it. You've earned it.
Yeah, and write my parents because obviously this is just tell them I'm okay. I know what's happening. Put it in the mail. I guess. Oh, do I have candles? Oh, I have a big ass candle from when I was like really into paganism when I was in college. I still have those candles.
They can't still be good though, right?
I mean, it's wax and a wick, so I hope
I guess
so.
that's, you know what, and this is something that I'm going to learn in the coming weeks is like I'm having a lot of moments of like I have flashlights. Is a flashlight going to work? It's technically electric, but it's not plugged into anything.
Yeah.
Like our batteries, like I'm having a lot of those thoughts, and then I guess the thought I'm going to have in the coming days is like, what's going to work because it's simpler than I thought.
Yeah, like my phone is not great on battery life, so it's probably gonna last me not even till morning.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I didn't charge my phone last night. I meant to, I just didn't.
I mean, I charged it last night, and then I use it like all the time, and now it's where is it at? Like 48%.
Yeah, that's not lasting until morning.
Yeah, that's gonna be off in like an hour or so.
I mean, maybe not. It's not like pulling data.
Oh, that's true. It's not pulling data. It doesn't have internet access. At
this point, it's a really fancy calculator.
It's a really nice flashlight.
But hey, it's flashlight. That kind of answers the flashlight question, which I think
I think I do have a flashlight.
That kind of answers. Yeah. I guess that answers the flashlight question, which is great.
Yeah.
So we got a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this and not have it sound dramatic.
I was waiting for you to say it. So.
Oh, I thought you were gonna like either. I was waiting for like a confirmation or like a shutdown of. Now we have 30 seconds. Shit. Do we have last words for now?
Oh, gosh, I don't. Drink water. I don't know. Am I supposed to give you a list? Shit. Okay.
Astoundingly good final words.
Drink water. Hydrate.
Stay hydrated.
Okay. Well, I love you, and I hope
I love you too.
Yeah, and I hope you stay safe. Oh,
I do too.
Okay. All right.
And I just hope that.
I hope that. Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, and it cuts off.
Good.
Oh.
I'm now going to turn the light on because it's burning my eyes. and that's game. Oh, the lights are on. The lights are not off anymore.
The sun's not in my eye anymore.
Oh. Wow.
Oh,
wow. That was intense. That was a lot.
That was a lot. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. I feel like that was really heavy. It was really intense. There was a lot of bleed in that, but
definitely.
I am feeling good. It was a very cathartic, exploratory experience.
Yeah, it was a good safe way to actually get into those feels.
Yeah,
and
I felt good.
Same. I'm just gonna shake it out real quick.
Just gonna breathe in and breathe out. That was very, very good. Very intense, but very good.
What, my exhale?
The exhale and also the game, but also the exhale. Very good exhale.
Thank you. Like I said, I did yoga earlier, so like I'm learning how to like breathe noisily.
Oh my goodness.
With intention. But that was a good game. Oh wow.
That was. I feel good. Anything particular you want to talk about, or you just want to?
I like the idea how we decided to go with aliens because I was like, okay, my brain actually went there first. But when you went there, I was like, all right, we're going down this rabbit hole.
I felt like it was a good way to go because, like, if I'm being 100% honest, every other way that I could picture going, like, felt too real, and I didn't want to go, like, where was an avenue that I didn't want to go down.
Yeah. I'd rather go supernatural or extraterrestrial.
Something that isn't mundane because it felt like it felt too it as terrible as it sounds, it felt too real looking at any kind of mundane possibility.
Yeah, it just, especially with everything that's happening right now in the world.
Exactly. Like the world where it is, I was like, I don't want to picture an actual terrible thing because who's to say?
We're already
But-
in an actual terrible thing that's happening right now. So
Exactly. So I was
I
like,
don't
I was
want
like,
another thing on top of that.
yeah, right. I like that we went with the aliens, but it was really good. And like every time, like I think my favorite parts were very much just like the very real discussions of
Mhm.
like talking through like the parts of my life, like reflecting on my life through that lens was a very kind of powerful emotional experience.
Yeah, it was nice to reflect on your own history a bit whenever we could, even though it's
Yeah.
like hypotheticals like through a game, but like it's also a little bit, just you, because I actually drove and like I stuck stick notes to
Yeah.
my steering wheel because I started driving when I was 12 technically, because I lived in rural Texas and what else do you do when you're a
Right.
kid?
Yeah, I spent 2 years in Oklahoma, and like I remember being like 10 and hearing like all of my other students be like, in a year or two I'm going to learn to drive, and like moving back to like the Jersey Philly area, realizing like, oh yeah, that is a different like world experience.
Yeah, so I started driving like at least around the softball parks when I was 12. So I've been just thinking about that, and then like thinking like even in high school and even in like some bits of college before like iPhones existed, because I went to college before. I think we're the same age. You said year, so
Yeah, I think we're the same age. I think
Yeah.
we're roughly same age range.
early 30s. Yeah,
Yeah, early 30s.
yeah. So like iPhones didn't exist till like I was halfway through college. So
Right, yeah.
So even like driving back and forth from like home to college, like I still had to do the sticky note thing.
And that story about me driving is very extremely true.
Oh, really?
That
Oh,
was
wow.
a very true Jeff Stormer story of like, that is when I learned to drive.
You know, it sounded way too good not to be true. So
It was every word of that was 100% true, like that. And that's like, there was a lot that was good. I really just liked, I feel like we both got into the flow really nicely, and there
Mhm.
were the parts that got really heavy, and then the parts that were like lighter than I think that I thought they were going to be going in, and I
Yeah.
was surprised by that in a very good way.
like Disney World gangs.
Yeah, like the Mickey Mouse gang, like that part of the conversation, like it didn't feel like a performance,
Yeah.
but it felt like I was still kind of in that moment of like that kind of existential terror, but like it really, that was what kind of caught me off guard, was those moments of joy.
Yeah. I mean, even if like if, for example, like us during the pandemic right now.
Yep.
I always try to find the joy in something, because if I don't, I just get really sad.
Oh yeah, it's you could like, it is a very true thing of like finding the joy, because like otherwise, god damn. So, but I'm glad this was so incredibly good. Morgan,
Yeah.
thank you so much for playing it
Yeah,
with me.
and
This
thank you
was,
for inviting me to this. This was a blast. I really had a good time.
I am blown away.
I want ice cream now. I wish I had ice cream.
I do have ice cream in the freezer. I'm really excited.
I'll go have
So-
yogurt.
Real quick before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Yeah, so again, hi, I'm Morgan. You can find me on the socials at Serena Bezos. That's SirenaBesos. That's, Instagram, Twitter. I'm there. Be my friend. You can find my podcast, Powered by the Players, at PBT Players. I think, yeah. PBT Players with them. And we release every other Tuesday. We've already released a full mass mini campaign. We're about to finish our Bluebeard's Bride one shot, and then our next. Well, hold on, Jeff. Time out real quick. Pause.
Yeah.
When is this release?
Let me find out for you.
Just so I can give you info.
Let me find out for you. Let me ask you, is there a particular date you want this to go out? Because otherwise,
I didn't know like how far out your recordings were. So
my recordings are like weirdly far out right now, so we're looking at like October or November-ish. I have very little to do in the pandemic, and recording podcasts is how I pass the time.
That's fair. If my co-host for PBTP were the same way and didn't have children, I'd be like, let's do this all the time. But
It's been how I've been filling my time.
I love it. I love the spirit. Okay, so yeah, PBTP. We released our one shot at Mask. Our one shot at Mask. Sorry, we released our mini campaign at Mask. Our one shot Bluebeard's Bride. We just I think finished releasing Monster of the Week. And
Excellent.
Our one shot of Escape from Dino Island. So
Excellent.
So good games. Very excited about all these games that are out. And we have more on the line. Be on the lookout for that. You can always find me every other Wednesday at Utopia TV. That's twitch.com/Utopia TV with Kahania, which is a quest stream. I play Tulsi, the naturalist. And yeah, you can just look at my socials and just follow me there because I don't know what I'm doing most of the time.
That's fair. Well, that makes two. That makes two of us. Well, thank you so much for doing the show.
Yeah,
this was
thanks for having me.
So much fun. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap things up. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Morgan for coming on the show. That game was... I don't really have words. Like, that game was incredible and powerful and emotional and hit me in the heart. And I really loved it. Thank you so much for sharing that experience with me. I'm really, really happy. Like, I'm really touched that we got to play that game together. Be sure to head to the show notes to check out Something Happened and the Lights Went Out. Be sure to check out Powered by the Players. I think it is genuinely an exceptionally good podcast. And be sure to follow Morgan on Twitter at Cyrena Bessos. Then, while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/PartyOfOnePodcast. Head to our Discord at bit.ly/PartyOfOneDiscord. Head to our merch store at bit.ly/PartyOfOneMerch. And if you enjoy the show, consider leaving us a nice review on iTunes or Podchaser. There are other places you can review, but they send a nice email to my inbox, and they help the various algorithm gods smile upon us, so those are the places that I really appreciate it. You can also tell a friend about the show. You can send us some love on social media. You can also support the show financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or at ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. Or you can, if you're looking for more stuff to listen to, support the other podcast that I produce every week, All My Fantasy Children, a storytelling, character creation, and world-building podcast powered by you on the One Shot Podcast Network. Every week, my best friend Aaron Catano Saez and I take a listener-submitted prompt, we spin it into an original fantasy character, we populate a shared universe one story at a time, and we send you on your way with a verbal hug to leave you happier than when you got here. I think it's a wonderful show. I think you'll really love it. You can find new episodes every Friday-ish at oneshotpodcast.com. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers. And the logo for the show comes from Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And honestly, I think that's all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.